Good day, sir. I am Generics L. Felipe, third year, section Enja, and this is my notes in CLJ 2, which is the human rights, and I will read it. Laguna Lake Development Authority versus CA 231 SCRA 22. Facts: a later complaint was filed with the Laguna Lake Development Authority, which is the LLDA, seeking to stop the operation of the open garbage dump site in the Tala Estate and Caloocan due to its harmful effects on the health of the residents and the possibility of pollution of the water contained of the assurance area. It was discovered that the upon dump site did not have an environment and natural resources as required under Presidential Decree number 1586, and clearance from the LLDA are required under Republic Act number 4850. The LLDA they conducted an on-site investigation, monitoring and test sampling of the leachate that seeps from the said dump site to nearby lake, which is a tributary of the Perlo River. The leachate testing revealed the preserve of bacteria. It's a result. The LLD issued a gauge and bin test for the ordering that the dumping of any further kind of garbage and the waste matter on the Caloocan dump site be completely stopped. When talks on the dump site failed to settle the problem, the dump site was opened again, prompting the LLD to issue another case desist an order. Thereafter, the LLD with the assistance of Philippine National Police enforced by prohibiting the entry of a garbage dump trucks into Caloocan dump site. The city government of Caloocan then filed with the RTL of Caloocan City an action for the declaration of humility of the ceased order and sought to be declared as the sole authority empowered to promote the health and safety and enhance the rights of the people in Caloocan City to balance ecology within its territorial jurisdiction. Issues and ruling. Number 1 is, thus the LLD has authority to certain complaint against dumping of garbage of the open dump site in Caloocan authorized by its city common, which is all allegedly endangering the healthy, safety and welfare of the residents, tourists and the sanitation and quality of the water in the area brought about by exposure to pollution caused by such open garbage dump site. The answer is yes. Yes, the LLD jurisdiction was alleged validly invoked on the basis of allegation that open dump site of the city government of Caloocan was undertaken without the clearance from the LLD as required by Republic Act 4850. As a general rule, the adjudication of pollution cases generally pertains to the pollution adjudication board, except in the cases where the speech law provides special law provides for another forum. It must be recognized that in the disregards to the LLDA by visitor of its special charter obviously has the responsibility to protect the inhabitants of Laguna Lake region from the deleterious effects of pollutants emanating from the discharge of waste from the surrounding areas. In carrying out the national policy of promoting and accelerating the development and balanced growth of the Laguna Lake area and the surrounding provinces of Rizal and Laguna and the cities of San Pablo, Manila, Pasay, Omer and Caloocan with due regional and adequate provisions for environmental management and control preservation of the quality of human life and ecological system and promotion of ecological disturbance, deterioration and pollution. The LLD mandated among to pass upon or approve or disapprove all plan, programs and projects proposed by local government offices, agencies within the region, public corporation and private persons or enterprises where such plans, programs and or projects are related to those of the LLD for the development of the region. So number 2 is the LLD have the power and authority to use a cease and desist order to join the damage in dumping or garbage in the Tala state. Answer is yes. Although the LLD was especially impaired prone to issue for the case or desist in order in express term, the LLD insurance of was a practical matter of procedure under the contents of the case is a proper exercise of its power and authority under its charter and its military laws. So the states shall protect the rights of therapy to balance and harmful ecology in accord with the freedom and harmony of nature. As additionally guaranteed rights of every person, it carries the correlative duty on non-empowerment. There is a process of rights, bonus, reduced tribal approach. Basis of rights derives stemming from a law higher than the state and whose source or supreme being. Human rights are position granted by first story states or any international organization as their God gave rights. To his nature of children, originated from the stoles and elaborated by Greek philosophers and later by ancient Roman logicists. Perceives that the conduct must always conform to the term of nature. Virtue is positive nature, interpretation, positivism. All rights and authority from the state are beneficiation, have promulgated The only law is what is mandated by sovereign. Four is statutory. Educate that human rights are not deliberate or the effort of man, but they have already existed through the common of the purpose of wealth, right and justice. 5 is theory of Marxism. Theory of Marxism emphasizes the interests of society are individual funds integrate individual freedom is recognizes only after the interest of society is served. Number 6. Functional social groups. Human rights exist as a means of society. 6. 6 to define the nation of rights in terms of tendencies to promote rules specified and such as common good. Every human this was motivated by calculation of pleasure and pain. The goal to promote the greatest happiness of the current rate is theory based on unity of man policy science approach. Human rights means sharing values of all identified policies upon which human rights deprive. The important value of state, power, knowledge, health, and security. The ultimate goal of the theory is a world community where there is sharing and distribution of relative values. Number 9 is jurisprudence. Its pursues and vulnerability, funded and justice. The rights secured for justice are not subject to political begaming or sexual interests. Then is theory based on equality and respect of human dignity. The committee of individual rights and enjoyment of the benefits. One as a freedom of speech, religion, fair and fertile and to its courts. Governments must trust on their citizens equally for their purpose. The government must intervene in order to advance general welfare. Origin of human rights and liberties. John 20 of John 1899, Malula's Constitution contained several provisions on civil and political rights. 1902 Philippine Bill of 1902. 1916 Philippine Autonomy. Autonomias of 1916, James Locke. 1934 Philippine Independence Act of 1934, Tidings McDuffie Law. 1995 First Philippine Constitution, contained Bill of Rights. 1973 Second Philippine Constitution. 1983 and 1983 First Philippine present Philippine Constitution. From 1942 to 1944, the Philippines were temporarily deprived of enjoyment of the civil and political rights during the military rule of Japan, but they were immediately restored in 1945. 1945. The Philippines were again subject to violation of human rights during the authoritarian rule of presidents, which was permitted during the February 1986 revolution. Human rights instruments to which the Philippines is a signatory. Number one is International Covenant of Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, 7 of June 1974. Number 2 is International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, October 23, 1986. Number 3 is Optional Protocol International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, August 22, 1989. So, number 4 is International Covenant on the Elimination of all forms of racial discrimination, September 15, 1976. International Convention of the Suppression and Punishment of the Crime of Apartheid, July 27, 1987. Number 6, International Convention Against Apartheid, July 27, 1987. Number 7 is International Convention on the Elimination of all forms of discrimination against women, August 5, 1981. Number 8, Convention of the Political Rights of Women, September 12, 1957. Number 9 is Convention on the Rights of the Child, August 21, 1990. Number 10 is Convention of 1926, July 3, 1955. Number 11 is Protocol amending the Slavery Convention, November 17, 1955. Number 12 is Parliamentary Convention on the Position of Slavery, Slave Record and Institution and Practices, November 17, 1965. Number 13 is Convention on the Suppression of the Trafficking of Persons and the Exploitation of Others, September 19, 1952. Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman, or Degrading Treatment or Punishment, June 18, 1966. The Convention on the Consent to Marriage, Minimum Age for Marriage and Registration for Marriage, June 21, 1965. Number 16 is International Convention on the Protection of all Migrant Workers and Members of their Families, November 13, 1993. 17 is Convention on the Nationality of Married Women. Number 18, Convention on States of Stateless Persons, June 22, 1995. Convention relating to the states of refuge, July 22, 1981. This Convention on the Prevention and the Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, July 7, 1950. Convention on the applicability of statutory limitations on war crimes and crimes against humanity, May 15, 1973. Protocol additional to the Levens Convention of August 12, 1949, relating to the protection of victims of non-international conflicts, Protocol 11, July 11, 1987. Philippine Commission on Human Rights, mandated by 1987 Constitution, formally instituted by President Aquino's Executive Order number 163. Composition and qualifications are one chairman and 4 members who must be natural born citizens of the Philippines, and the majority of whom shall be members of the Bar, Section 17, Article 13, 1987 Constitution. Powers and functions. Section 18, Article 13, 1987. Investigate on its own or on complaint by any party all forms of human rights violations, civil and political rights, but to adapt its operation guidelines and rules of procedure and set for contempt for violation thereof in accordance with the rule of court. Provide appropriate legal measure for the protection of human rights of all persons within the Philippines as well as Filipinos residing abroad, and provided for preventive measures and legal and services to the underprivileged whose human rights have violated on and exercise visitorial powers over jails, prisons, or detention facilities. Establish a continuing program of research, education, and information to enhance respect for the primary of human rights. Recommend to Congress effects measures to promote human rights and to provide for compensation to victims of violations of human rights or their families. The Philippine government in compliance with international treaty obligations on human rights. Grant immunity from prosecution to any person whose testimony or whose position of development or other evidence is necessary for convention to determine the truth and any investigation conducted by it or under its authority. Request the assistance of any department, bureau, office, or agency in the performance of its function. Number 10 is appoint its officer and employees in accordance with the law and perform such as duties and function on may be provided by law. Commission on Human Rights 204 SCRA for the Philippine Fox for joining the concerted mass nations of public teachers are for failure to head the return work issued by Dex Security Carino and 8 teachers from Ramon Magsaysay High School, namely Graciano Budoy, Juliet Babaran, Elsa Ibaba, Helen Lupo, Amparo Gonzales Castillo, Elsa Reyes, and SBIR, SBIR, were administratively charged, preventively suspended after 90 days, and temporarily replaced. The said teachers, led by council, subsequently staged a walkout signifying their intent to boycott the proceedings. Thereafter, Secretary Carino rendered a decision ordering the commission from service of Escobar and an amount suspension of Babaran, Buduy, and Del Castillo. The 8 teachers then complained to the Commission on Human Rights on the ground that they were denied due process. Secretary Carino filed a motion to dismiss with the CHR on the ground that its Commission on Human Rights had new jurisdiction over all case. Is yun ruling? Para ka?
Taon ako.
Diyos ako.
Nalibya ka?
Oh. Is yun ruling? Number 1 is the Commission on Human Rights has the power under the Constitution to try and decide here and determine contain specific types of case like alleged human rights violations involving civil or political rights. Sure is no. The CHR was not meant by Constitution to be another court or quasi-judicial agency in the community. The must that may be conceded to the Commission on Rights and was of adjudication's powers that is may investigation, receive evidence, and make findings of fact as region human rights violation involving civil and political rights. For finding is much adjudication and can be likened to the judicial function of a court of justice or over a quasi-judicial agency or official. The function of receiving evidence and ascertaining therefrom the fact of controversies need a judicial function. Properly speaking, he will consider such the faculty of receiving evidence are making factual commissions, and controversy must be accompanied by the authority of applying the law to those factual conclusion to the end that the controversy may be decided or determined. Authority finally and definitely subject such appeals or modes of review as may be provided by law. This function to repeat the commission does not have. Seven Commission on Rights 229 SCRA 7. Facts. A demolition notice was sent by office of the government's city mayor to the offices are members of IDSA Vendors Association, which is NEVA, which gave the latter those 3 days to vacate their stalls in order to give way to the People's Park. The NEVA, led by the presidents Roque filed a letter complaint with the Commission on Human Rights asking that the letter be addressed to then Mayor Brigadio Simon Jr. of Quezon City to stop the demolition of their stores, grocery stores, and carinderia along EDSA. The CHR subsequently issued an order directing the office to desist from demolition the stalls and stances are not providing resolution of the boundaries contained for the commission. Notwithstanding said order, it Quezon City officers corner out the demolition of the stalls, research stores, and carinderia, prompting the Commission on Human Rights to order the distribution of financial assistance of not more than 200,000 in favor of vendors to purchase lighthousing materials and food under the Commission on Human Rights supervision, and again directed to Quezon City officers to desist from further demolition, with the warning that the violation of said order would less to a citation for contempt and arrest. The Quezon City officers filed a motion to dismiss, questioning the Commission on Human Rights jurisdiction. Subsequently, the Commission on Human Rights cites the Quezon City officers and contempt for carrying out further demolition on the stores and stores and carinderias, despite the order to desist and impose a fine of 500 on each of them. Issues in ruling. The Commission on Human Rights has direction to investigate the violation of rights of post vendors whose stalls were demolished by the Quezon City officers instance and authority given by Mayor of Quezon City. No, the order for demolition of stores and carinderia of the vendors does not fall whether the compartment of human rights violations involving civil and political rights intended by the Constitution. This Commission has direction to impose a fine 500 pesos on each of Commission officers. No, although the Commission on Human Rights constitutionally authorized to adopt its operational guiding and rules of procedure and cite for contempt for violation thereof accordance with the rules of court, and accordingly the Commission on Human Rights acted within its authority in providing in its revised rules its power of cite or hold any person in private and indirect contempt, or to impose the appropriate penalties in accordance with the procedure and citations provided for in the rules of court. The power to cite and contempt should be understood to apply only to violation of its adopted personal guidelines and rules of procedure essential to carrying out its investigational powers. The order to dismiss is not investigational in character but prescribed from an adjudicative power that it does not possess. No, human rights seem to closely identify with universally accepted traits and attributes of the individuals, along with what is generally considered to be his inherent and inalienable rights. In comparing inherent aspect of life. The International Bill of Human Rights objective, human objective, human objective of the United Nations, the recognition and respect of human rights. Purpose of United Nations: to promote an environment of respect for human rights and for fundamental freedoms for all without distinction of as to race, sex, language, or religion. The UN Charter contains at least 7 articles on human rights. Article 13, which directs the General Assembly of initiating studies and recommendations for the purpose of assisting the order of human rights and fundamental But Article 55, which commits the UN to promote universal respect for observance of human rights and fundamental freedom. Article 6, which provides the legal obligation of all members to pledge provisions and separate actions and cooperation with the United Nations for the advancement of supposed set for in Article 55. Article 62, which states that the Economic and Sexual Council make recommendation for the purpose of promoting respect for an observance for human or fundamental proven of all. Article 76, which mandates the tutorship system to encourage respect for human rights and for fundamental freedom for all without distinction as to race, sex, language, or religion. It encourages religion of the interdependence for human rights, the proper people of one world. Article 10, which suggests the General Assembly to address any matter within the scope of the Charter which may concern human rights. Article 69, which provides that the Economic and Social Council within the several provision of the General Assembly may perform services on the request of any state basis for the advisory services program on human rights, such as providing experts or granting fellowships or organization notes, and find every article in the United Charter which refers to the purposes of the United Nations is deemed to include the promotion of human rights. Purpose of the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, or ICECR, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the ICECR, and the ICCPR are legally binding in the states that ratified it. ICECR Committee on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights researches the state's portions program. ICCPR Human Rights Committee, an independent body of experts. United Nations Commission on Human Rights, formally established by Economic and Social Council to assist in all matters relating in human rights. Composed of 43 members, deals with all aspects of human rights issues involving the participation of and sectors of an international committee. Undertakes special tasks assigned to its by the General Assembly Council, including the investigation of all allegations of human rights violation, coordinates activities relating to human rights through the United Nations system. Subcommissions of independence experts are empowered to undertake students and to make recommendations, prevent discrimination, protect minority rights and fundamental freedom. Special rapporteurs or working groups are appointed to deal with special topics. Communication and education, religion, or administration of justice. The adverse consequences for human caused by political, military, economic, and other form of assistance to colonial and racist region. The rights, religions, and linguistic minorities, issues related to self-determination, the realization of economic, social, or cultural rights, the rights of indigenous popularity, the new international economic order, and the promotion of human rights, the rights to adequate food as a human rights, the exploitation of child labor. The Declaration of Human Rights, the Declaration of Norms. It serves as a common sense of achievement for all nations. United Nations did not drive its members to enforce the sanction of enforcement machinery was set up. Article 56 of the United Charter direction members to pledge themselves to the joint and support action and cooperation with the United Nations to achieve universal respect for an observance of human rights and fundamental freedom. Although it is not a legally binding document, most have recognized the principles of the declaration which have general moral weight are preservation and the devolution of others. Its principles have been adopted and must save constitution. The last one is hindrances and the implementation of human rights instrument. Authoritarian regimes headed by dictators and trustless leaders. Article 2, Paragraph 7 of the United Charter, which states that nothing contained in the present or after shall authorize the United Nations to intervene in matters which are especially within the domestic jurisdiction of any state, or shall require the members submit such as matter to settle under the present charter, but this principle shall not prejudice applications of enforcement measures under chapter 14 ay, chapter 7 chapter 7 provisions and international treaties that are non-self-executing becomes for applied unless implementing areas, militations, or what is that? Economic, and social and cultural rights have no fixed and well-defined forum to reduce violation. And the last one is number 5. Human rights violations are rarely reported. That's all, sir. Thank you.